Hello everyone, and welcome to the review of the Fireboard Plus scooter. This is actually called Fireboard Plus app, and you may already observe the design. This is sold under the brand of E2 or E-TWOW, or call it whatever. It's a Chinese name. It's very popular in Europe, especially in France and some other countries as well. This is also considered very expensive in European countries, and it can go up to $1,000, 1,000 euros for the price for it. Well, this is just a fraction of that. It looks the same, but will it perform the same? Stay around with me and we'll find out together. So before we start the test drive and see how this thing works, first we are going to go into a bit of details about it. Technical facts are, motor has 450 watts of power. The battery has 6.4 or 6 point something amps hour capacity. It has an electric brake, and it also has the rear fender brake type, where you press the rear wheel to make it stop. The acceleration is thumb controlled here. The stem is adjustable. It has several adjustment points, and that is very nice because you can make this taller if you are a taller person. It also features full suspension. It has a suspension in the front, and also it has a suspension on the rear. I don't know if you can observe it, but this will compress. It has a rear wishbone and a spring loaded in the footrest there, so it should be pleasant to ride on. But the other fact is it has full solid tires, both in the rear and both in the front, so this will not have a flat tire problem, but it will be probably bumpy on bad roads such as those, so you may feel every crack in the asphalt, even though if it has suspension or not. One really nice feature of this scooter is its compact size. It can be folded in a very small format. The handlebar folds, the stem will be short. It has a hook here, so this turns into a handle, so you can carry it around, and it stays there on the footrest, while when it's unfolded it has a small jack there and it will not touch the ground, so it's very easy to store, very easy to carry. You just put your hand here and take it up with you. It's perfectly balanced, and this thing weighs around 11 kilograms, which is very light. So this is like a personal transporter. If you commute a lot or use other types of transportation such as a subway or a bus, you can take this with you. Although it should have plenty of range to ride on, but if the weather is bad or you want to do a great distance, this may be very handy for you. And it's also very simple to assemble it back together. Most of the things here are spring loaded, and if you turn this on, sorry, I don't know if you can see it, it has a very interesting screen there. It shows speed, it shows battery, it shows runtime, it shows even the amp draw of the motor, battery voltage, range, and a lot of stuff. And it has some switches here. It even has a small horn, but that is more of a joke. It has settings here from which you can cycle odometer, trip meter, and stuff like that. This is for turning on or off. You can enable or disable lights, and it has a speed switch mode, which it's a gear mode. It will limit the top speed of the scooter. But the goodies don't end here. The scooter actually has an app that's working for it, like not found on the E2 or E-TWOW or whatever you want to call it. So the app shows you speed, it shows you total trip, you can set the speed ratings, and you can also control the lights. You can turn them on or off directly from the Bluetooth, which is very nice, including the headlamp. And you get some extra settings here, such as slide and go. So this thing can start from instant, you don't need to push it, or you want to enable push to start mode. It has automatic cruise control, automatic power off. It even has a battery tracker which shows the battery level and the condition of the battery. I don't know if that works. It says fair, it should have been set to good because this thing is new. We're going to skip that, but the battery status bar shows okay because this is fully charged now, so it should be full. And of course I'm going to set it to metric units here, so we get proper speed indication. Hopefully that will be fine. And now it's time to take it for a ride. Let's see how it goes, how fast it is. There's no way I have enough space to put the mobile phone here, so I don't know what to do with it. I'm just going to put it in my pocket. I'm also recording the true GPS speed, while on this display I'm going to see the speed of the scooter indicated by it. And I'm going to tell you, I'm doing now 30 on the display, and you can check with the true GPS speed of the scooter. Hopefully they will match or be close to each other. So recording is working, all is fine. So I'm going to put the phone in my back pocket and let's take it for a ride. I'm going to start with some really nasty broken cement or asphalt there, so hopefully I will not fall from this scooter. Let's see how it works. So, the acceleration is kind of delayed, so you press the accelerator, it doesn't do anything, and you keep pressing it. After a while it accelerates, so it has a small delay. So if I press it and let it go, it doesn't do anything. As you can see, it will even stop completely, so it doesn't accelerate. But if I press it and hold it there you go, it accelerates. Let's see the brake. Oh, it has a bit of brake, what do you know? Haha, interesting. So the electric brake seems to work, but you need to press it before, and the brake also has a bit of delay, so you need to wait for it to kick in. And now, if the helicopter has successfully passed, I can continue my ride and you will be able to hear it. I like the fact of how it accelerates. It's interesting because it has plenty of power. You just give it a push and it simply starts to run away. It even do a bit of wheel spin, but I can tell you from the beginning that I do not like the rear wheel. It's very bumpy and very noisy because of that. It's like a wheel from a toy scooter for kids. And I should test the emergency brake, so I'm going to try to brake with both my foot on the rear mudguard and with the electric one. And let's see, I'm braking. Oh, that's not very pleasant. You need a lot of force to press on that rear wheel if you want to stop. You simply need to stomp the mudguard if you want it to stop. So I'm pressing it as hard as I can. Alright, so you can stop this, but damn, if something jumps in your front, you will not be able to stop that fast. So I don't know what to tell you about stopping this. And on the display I get 30 kilometers per hour now. And it's not going faster than that. but it doesn't feel like 31. I think I have 25. And it's now time to do a hill climb test on the hill where I test all my scooters. So acceleration to full now. Let's see how much speed we are going to get uphill and how slow we are going to end up in the top of the hill. Speed is pretty decent. On the display it shows 22. It still keeps 22. And brake. So 22 going uphill. If the display is right, it might be one of the fastest low-powered scooters that I have tested uphill here. The M365 from Xiaomi does about 17-18 kilometers per hour maximum speed going uphill. A DU small bike does about 14-15 kilometers per hour. Oh, and the brake works pretty good going downhill, but I don't see any voltage increase. I don't know if it's regenerative braking. I think it's just an electric brake. I don't know about that. I should test it a bit some more, but it has plenty of stopping power, which I really enjoy. But you need to press the brake fully if you want it to act. Otherwise, if you just press it up to half or a bit more than half, it will enable the brake a bit, and then the brake will just fade away and you are going to lose brake, and you need to release it and brake again if you want to brake with this scooter. But I'm starting to get the hang of it, and I'm starting to like it actually. It's maneuverable, very easy to control, and it really goes uphill nice. One thing you need to be careful, it's the electric brake. So if you want to brake fast and hard, you need to fully depress it, but you need to expect a bit of a jolt. It will brake brutal. It has kind of a shock that brakes you and then starts to brake normally. So you need to prepare for that, because you get the feeling that you are going to be thrown off the scooter. I'm going to try to brake gently to see if that happens if I brake gently. So I'm pushing gently, gently, gently. Not really. So I'm going to try that again. Let's see if I'm braking. I don't feel any difference. It's like more like an on-off brake. It's not like a progressive brake, although the lever is progressive. I'm going to try again. So partially brake, alright, get some speed back on, and fully brake, and nope, the brake is not progressive. It's more like an on-off brake, and it's kind of proportional force with the speed that you have. So as faster as you go, the harder the brake will hit you. But it's a good thing that it brakes electrically. You don't need to use that much of stopping wheel on the rear, on the fender. You can live with the electric brake. Only thing that you need to keep in mind is that you need to brake before you need to brake because of that delay. And the same goes for throttle. Throttle is really nice. It gets to accelerate very fast, but it takes about 1-2 seconds until it responds to the control. And let's see now some top speed. Going downhill, so it shows 37 on the display. Oh my god, I think that is fake. And that's 35 on the display again. I don't think I'm going that fast. And I'm still doing 34. And I'm on cruise control now. And time for emergency brake. Right, so it does stop, but you need to be prepared for stopping. I also like how the suspension feels. I can jump on this. I can even probably do some acrobatic jumps like that. That was too much for it. So the suspension works, but because of the solid tires, the small bumps such as this road, I don't know if you can hear it, but just be a bit silent. Yeah, let's see. And that's the sound of plastic on plastic, or plastic on concrete. So all that noise is from the rear wheel, which is solid as a solid plastic. It's not like a silicone wheel that you get on a kid's scooter, but nonetheless it has very low drag resistance, so that helps you with getting a good range on this and makes it even lighter. Of course, on the E-TWOW, or whatever you want to call it, you can get a soft rear wheel which will cushion all that small bumps. It will also decrease a bit the top speed and some of its runtime, but it will make it a lot more pleasant. And combined with the full suspension, I think that this thing is really nice, really nice. And I really like how it accelerates. It has more grunt than the M365 scooter, and you can see that was the delay. I already released the throttle, put the brake, but it was too late and I had too much speed. So this thing doesn't brake when you want it to. It will brake when it wants to. And I notice another thing. I'm now going very easy. This is a small incline here. It's not a big incline, but look at this. I was talking about rolling resistance, so I'm now stopped with it. I'm not pushing it. I'm just going up on it, and this thing goes faster and faster downhill. You may say, oh, that's normal. Yes and no, because on larger scooters with larger wheels, they don't go by themselves on this incline. They will just stop because of the motor drag and the wheels drag and the tire drag. So this thing has very low rolling resistance, and I keep insisting on that because low rolling resistance equals long range. We don't know anything about the true range now, but I think that this can do 20-30 kilometers without any kind of problem. And this thing is also that powerful. If you fully press the accelerator, sometimes the front wheel will simply spin. I don't know if you can hear it, but it simply wheel spins a lot, especially if you put your weight a bit on the back. It still wheel spins, and barely now it had got up to speed and stopped the wheel spin. I'm now going to test a bit the app from this scooter, so I'm recording the screen hopefully this time. And I can tell you that there is a true problem with the app. It shows a total trip of 122 kilometers, which is not true, and only this trip has 37 kilometers. And actually, if you look at the display, it says 3.7 kilometers, so they are missing spacer here. The app is not very nice. Hopefully the speed is not that high, so I'm not going with 250 kilometers per hour on this scooter. Let's see if I can keep this to record and do another run with it. Let's see if this will keep recording, and let's go back into the scooter. First thing that I don't like in its ride quality are the handles, because they are quickly foldable. When they go and inside, they have a bit of play in there, and I don't like that. Other than this, no problems running it, just the brake and throttle delay. But probably if you run this for a longer period of time, you are going to get used to it. You are going to turn yourself into a time traveler, and you are going to guess when you need to brake. So on the display I'm now doing 32 kilometers per hour again, but it doesn't feel like it. Nonetheless, I simply don't care about the speed, because this thing behaves very nice. It also shows the constant amp draw of the motor, which is really interesting. It says that I'm doing 3, 4, 5 amps for doing full speed, and it goes really high when you accelerate, which is actually normal. Yes, I want to brake before I break something. This is too much of a jump for it. I don't want to break it. And let's accelerate again. Oh, that wheel spin. You are a tiny blue beast. Another thing with the less drag of this scooter and the way it simply goes and goes and goes, you can actually use the throttle in a very smart way. So you get up to speed, and if you go to a slight downhill or something like that, you can disable the motor, and now it just simply goes by inertia, and this saves a lot of power. and you cannot do that with regular scooters. This thing being very light, you can simply jump without any kind of problems. The suspension will cushion that big jump, so it doesn't put a too high strain on the scooter, and you can actually compress and decompress the suspension, making it jump easy. But it's not a racing or off-road scooter, but it's more dynamic than the Xiaomi, and it's well made. It gives you a feeling that it will not come apart when you ride it or abuse it, except for the handles, which are very shaky. Other than that, I really like it. I really enjoy it. And the rear wheel, which makes it go fast and consume less power, but makes it very shaky on uneven ground like this. But not a problem, not a problem. Usually you don't off-road with scooters of this size with small wheels. You use them for commuting, and that should not be a big problem for it. So that was the test ride of the Fireboard Plus app scooter, and I can tell you that I really enjoyed it. It has a very good acceleration. It goes fast uphill. You don't have the feeling that it's going to stop during climbing. It gets to a decent speed, and definitely the speed indicated on it is fake. It's not going to get 36, 37 kilometers per hour, even downhill probably, but it's dynamic, it's fast, so you can accelerate fast, it goes uphill fast, it even stops electrically, which is a good thing, because on the genuine E-TWOW, or E2, or call it whatever you want, the brake on the first editions was merely a joke. When you press this, it was just slowing you down, and that's all. This thing really brakes, but it brakes a bit too hard, so you press it, it has a delay, and then bang, it has a kick and it stops you, and the acceleration has that delay. So those were the cons. The pros I have told you them. Other than this, that's really about it. It has a rear stop there and light. This thing can be turned on, and when I turn on the lights, it will blink for more safety, and when you push the brake, it will turn on like a car brake, which is okay. The front LEDs are a lot of them, and they provide decent amount of light for city riding at noon or night. Other than this, I don't like the buttons here because they are very hard to press. Oh, you really break your fingers trying to press them, and very hard to press them. You do get a confirmation beep, but look at my finger. You can see that is from how hard I need to press on the buttons. So there you go. Those were all the cons or the pros. It rides nice, feels solid. It has suspension, it has low rolling resistance, so it gets to a decent speed, it gets a good runtime because it doesn't have too much drag, and it's very compact. You can take this with you very easily. So that was it for now. I hope that you have enjoyed my review, and be sure to follow my next uploads where I'm going to test more of these kind of scooters. Until then, bye bye.